Welcome back, everyone. Today, we have a fantastic lesson lined up for you. We are going to read a passage together, practice our present and past perfect verb tenses, and learn a cool trick for writing perfect summaries. Let's dive right in. First, please follow along as I read our passage for today, titled Harvest of Shame. Many Americans are lucky to have access to ample supplies of fruits and vegetables in their supermarkets 12 months a year. And who harvests all this food? More than 1 million women, children, and men do. They crisscross the United States, picking asparagus and strawberries in Washington State, citrus fruits in Florida, apples in New York State, and a host of different fruits and vegetables in California. These laborers are called migrant farm workers because they move from place to place, wherever crops need picking. Most would prefer permanent full-time employment, but it is not often available to them. The workday is strenuous. Pickers bend and stoop, often under a blazing hot sun. And the day is exceptionally long, from 7 in the morning until 7 at night. Their only respite may be a 20-minute lunch break. It is considered menial work. Wages are low, and laborers are paid only when they pick. If it rains, or if they are too sick to work, they get nothing. What's more, they often have difficulty obtaining adequate medical treatment when they are ill or injured. The children suffer enormous disadvantages because their education is disrupted as they move from school to school. In fact, only 1 student in 10 graduates from high school. Young people often drop out of school altogether to toil in the fields alongside their parents. It is there that they may be exposed to the chemical pesticides that are routinely sprayed on crops. One California study demonstrated that the cancer rate among migrant workers' children was 12 times the national average rate. In the 1960s, laborers in California began to agitate for more progressive working conditions. The growers were indifferent to their demands. So the migrant workers, under the leadership of 2 Mexican Americans, Cesar Chavez and Dolores Fernandez Huerta, formed a labor union called the United Farm Workers of America. When growers tried to oppose the union, it called strikes and organized boycotts of California lettuce and grapes. There were years of struggle, many organized marches, and sometimes violent clashes. But in the end, the majority of growers capitulated. In 1966, they recognized the union's right to represent workers. Despite the union's efforts, conditions have improved minimally since the 1960s. One notable accomplishment has been the creation of the East Coast Migrant Head Start Project, which administers many childcare centers for migrants. Started in 1974, it now serves over 3,000 children annually along the East Coast. Motivation, Education, and Training, MET, is a similar program that helps migrant workers in 5 states. Though these programs have helped improve conditions in some areas, the need for additional programs is urgent. Educational programs could lower illiteracy rates among migrant workers and their families, while outreach programs could help improve migrant workers' living conditions. Many workers survive without running water or electricity. These necessary additions and repairs to homes would help convert them from inadequate hovels into acceptable community housing. In 1960, a CBS documentary film about migrant workers aired on television the day after Thanksgiving. It brought into people's homes the truth about how the nation's crops were harvested, and it shocked the nation. 50 years later, in 2010, CBS television broadcast a program to mark the occasion. It showed that while there had been some improvement in wages and working conditions, much remains to be done. The name of the documentary film is Harvest of Shame. Now it's your turn to work. Please pause the video here to answer the 15 comprehension questions on this page and the next. Answer each of the following questions with a sentence. If a question does not contain a vocabulary word from the lesson's word list, use one in your answer. Make sure you use each word only once. Unpause when you are ready to review. These are the comprehension and vocabulary questions related to the passage. Answer them based on the context of the reading. Let's move on to Lesson 19, Perfect Tenses. First up, the present perfect tense of a verb names an action that happened sometime in the past. It also names an action that happened in the past and is still happening now. The rule is to use the helping verb have or has and the past participle of the main verb. For example, I have traveled or he has traveled. Next is the past perfect tense. This names an action that happened before another event or action in the past. For this one, the rule is to use the helping verb had and the past participle of the main verb. For example, I had traveled or they had traveled. Alright, time to practice. Please pause the video now. Complete exercise 1 by writing the present perfect tense of the verb in parentheses. Then, complete exercise 2 by writing the past perfect tense of the verb in parentheses. Come back when you're done. For our final activity, let's talk about summaries. When we read an amazing book, we want to tell people everything about it. But a good summary doesn't tell the whole story. It only tells the most important parts. To keep our summaries from getting too long, we use the SWBST framework. Here's how it works. S stands for somebody. Who is the main character? W stands for wanted. What do they want most? B stands for but. What is the big problem stopping them? S stands for so. What do they do to try and fix the problem? T stands for then. How does it end? Let's look at the example of Finding Nemo. Somebody, Marlin, a very nervous clownfish, wanted to protect his son, Nemo, and bring him safely home. But Nemo gets captured by scuba divers and taken to a dentist's office. So Marlin swims across the dangerous ocean with a forgetful fish named Dory. Then he learns to be brave, rescues his son, and they return to the reef. When you put it all together into a final summary, it looks like this. Marlin, a nervous clownfish, wanted to protect his son Nemo, but Nemo was captured by divers. So Marlin traveled across the dangerous ocean, and then he finally rescued his son and brought him safely home. Now it's your turn. Think about the book you are currently reading, or a movie you just watched, and fill out the SWBST chart. The rule is, you are only allowed to write one sentence for each box. After that, take the notes you wrote and combine them into one smooth paragraph using transition words. Your final summary should be a maximum of 3 to 4 sentences. Pause the video and give it a try. Here are 4 short stories with clear narrative arcs, perfect for practicing the SWBST framework. These are easily found online. Let's look at the SWBST breakdown for 7th grade and the scholarship jacket. Notice how each element clearly outlines the somebody, wanted, but, so, and then of the story. Here are the breakdowns for Priscilla and the Wimps and the Sniper. Analyzing these examples helps you understand how to apply the framework to any narrative. Finally, here are the answer key to the vocab and the grammar practices.